Hi, I'm Danny.
I'm Sam.
And this is
Business in a Brew. We'll be pouring over business stories
and talking about things that interest us in the world of business.
So we'd like you to just take a few minutes out, listen.
Yeah, we'd love it if you join our conversation with us. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. We're talking about Canva today, which weirdly is one of my favourite things and probably the tool I spend the most of my time on.
Really?
Yes. Because It's a really accessible design tool. I don't know, you've probably never used it.
For the benefit of people who are listening to this and haven't got a clue what Canva is.
Yes.
Canva's C-A-N-V-A.
Yes, like the word canvas without S on the end. Mm-hmm. It's an accessible design tool, and it was designed by a lady called Melanie Perkins in Australia.
Let's be clear, are you plugging this?
No.
Right, okay, fine, just make sure.
But if you want to give me money every time I say the word Canva, you can. It was founded in 2013.
We can always bleep it out.
Well, yeah. Basically, this woman, Melanie, spent a lot of her time teaching people how to use programs like Adobe and stuff, and Photoshop. And the feedback she overwhelmingly got from her students was, why are these so complicated? Even though I've gone through this course, it's still hard to use. Even show me where the buttons are is hard to do. So she wanted to create something that across the world would be an easy, accessible tool for people who wanted to design. We're not talking designing, well, potentially we're not talking designing restaurant menus or complex brochures. It was designed for people who wanted quick logos or business cards or social media graphics.
I get that. You've got the likes of Photoshop, which is an incredible product, but you often, if all you're doing is resizing images and editing them, the amount that you're using is vast. But to try and learn to use those other areas, which often you can go on a course and actually learn how to do that. Now, I've been on one, but you end up forgetting everything because you're only doing the stuff that you're doing on
over and over again.
Absolutely,
yeah.
It's
not like riding a bike.
Learning. Absolutely not. It's not.
Yeah, it is an amazing tool, and it really has made design accessible. She tested it first with, weirdly, school yearbook design. Maybe there must be a thing in Australia. We don't really get them in this country, do we? We might do now.
No, we do now.
We get proms now. Oh, do we?
We do. Yeah.
Your children have not long left school.
Last few years.
I did not know that. But yeah, it was a school yearbook design website where it was a like pop and play. So you pop the bits in, you give your photo and your bio, and it pre-populates a yearbook for you, saving loads of time for the yearbook committee, which I only assume exists from American teen movies. So she tested the platform and the functionality and the capability with that, and it works so well, and it actually still exists today. It still makes yearbooks in that fashion. But then Canva came off the back of the software she developed for that. So it's now in about 190 countries, and it's got 190 million users. I mean, that goes up almost every day.
Wow.
So that could have vastly changed in the last.
So this is multilingual as well, therefore.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's
a multilingual user interface for the actual user themselves.
It's just had a glow up as well. Which bits of it I like and bits of it I don't like, but that's a different matter entirely.
Yeah.
But it is a really, really clever platform. I do think it makes a massive difference to small businesses who maybe can't afford graphic design support, which is the only route you would have had in the past. So you can make professional looking graphics, templates, flyers, downloadables, forms, invoices. There is a lot of scope in it for small business. I think it is amazing for that. Interestingly, it's another idea that was turned down by a lot of investors. It was turned down by 100 investors before she found people that were willing to invest. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, I imagine they thought, is there a market for it? Do people actually need this?
I know, but you think about previously, you would have had to have had that done by a graphic artist, graphic designer. But there's a bit of democracy going on. It's democratizing those functions to actually make them accessible to all. A bit like web. Simple website, you can build it yourself.
You can, I think.
Yeah. When it gets to a certain level, you can no longer do it.
Often people are scared by the mystique of it. Websites, design, all those sorts of things that I can't do. I don't know anything about web design. I don't know anything about graphic design. Canva is very, very clever and has only got cleverer since I've been using it. I mean, there is a free version. I don't use the free version. I use the paid version because I use a lot more graphics for social media context and things. But there is a free version. So it is incredibly accessible at a basic level. It's now, of course, introducing AI. But interestingly, and this was one thing I found when I was looking into Canva a bit more, they didn't develop their own AI software. They acquired AI technology and they acquired Leonardo AI. Leonardo AI are an image generation software. So essentially you put a load of text in, like 6-foot man sat on a blue sofa talking into a podcast mic playing with his glasses, and you'd get you. Well, you might not. You might get something else entirely. But Leonardo AI had got into a bit of trouble because they didn't have the appropriate guardrails in place against, I've got to read this exact sentence, user-generated, non-consensual deepfake porn. Which is bad.
Wow.
The only bit I'm slightly confused by, because I couldn't really get to the...
Did you try it?
No, I didn't try it. Yes, you're now starring in something yourself. Yeah. The only reason I can't quite get my head around, non-consensual AI is not real. It's something that is generated. So how is it non-consensual? Whose consent is it you need? Or are you asking it to generate something that exists? That's confusing me as a sentence.
So you could tell it to drop in an image that you've uploaded?
Yeah, potentially I could say, go on LinkedIn, find a picture of Simon David Price. I'd like to use him in my latest blockbuster. I suppose that would be a non-consensual. Or replacing someone's head on someone's body. I'm not really sure, but they were done for that. But there was some backlash against them acquiring that particular company. Okay. It hasn't stopped them integrating. It hasn't stopped them using AI on the platform generally. And there is also some backlash at the moment around there's some AI being racist, essentially. So no one... AI obviously isn't sentient. Well, I think somebody put I would like an image of a group of people with ankle tags. And I believe there was no racial balance in the image that was created. It was all very one-sided. So someone's going, well, why does AI think all of these particular people should have ankle monitors? There was another one where there was a picture of a lady and she had a very specific hairstyle. I can't for the life of me think what it was called, but it was flagged as inappropriate content. It wasn't. It was just a particular hairstyle that somehow the AI... But AI isn't fully evolved. We're at very early stages of using AI.
No, but the person who
programmed it,
used it to produce the output, then stands in the firing line.
Well, they're blaming the AI.
And should have maybe vetted that themselves. Potentially,
but it's really, really hard because when you're generating a tool that you kind of have to predict every possible scenario that someone at the other end could be asking it. And that's very hard to do.
So is that strictly how it works? If you look at what ChatGPT does, it's down to the question you enter, it's the search query that you put in.
Yes, but the response it gives you is a combination of its programming and its learning. So the images, an image generation like Leonardo AI and the AI that's in Canva will be a combination of what it's learnt. So from consumed content, from previously asked queries, and what it's been programmed to understand. So at some point, someone told it that all this particular demographic of people wear ankle tags, or somehow it got that information. Somehow it took that to be true. Where that came from in the process.
That's terrifying.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And it might just be that it's got a very small reference pool. It might just be that it was just one of those things, but you don't know. So it has been accused of that.
So where was this reported, or how was this reported?
Just multiple sources.
Right, okay.
I was reading about it across multiple sources just to check that it was actually something. I mean, generally, Canva isn't one that comes up against there's not lots of bad business practice and that kind of thing. There's a few things around unfair dismissal in the workplace, but like literally one or two. And they had the problem with a data breach when all of their data got breached. But generally, bad practices aren't something. I mean, they're putting their prices up at the moment. I know that's causing a lot of debate for a lot of different people. Because you can be a personal user or a Teams user, and if you're a Teams user, you get pushed up by quite a lot, which is affecting people. But then it's been a really, really cost-effective tool for a really long time without a price increase. So I don't necessarily think there is still a free version. So I don't necessarily think they're doing the wrong things for business. You can't expect a business to maintain their price level forever amid rising costs, and the demand is higher. So it makes sense that they leverage demand with an increase in fees.
So what of Leonardo then?
Well, they've incorporated.
That?
It is that software.
And how recent was the news about that?
I think it was this. I forgot to write the date down. I want to say it was this year, but it wasn't very long ago. Right. AI only started being integrated at the end of last year.
So I'm taking it they have taken steps to correct that, to do something about that.
There are more things in it,
but it's a very complex thing to do.
At the end of the day,
you can't necessarily factor in every single possible query from every single possible angle.
But AI is realistically a learning tool. So it should, in theory, solve its own problem as it keeps learning and keeps growing, for want of a better word. But it's interesting about the use of AI generally. And I mean, Canva in and of itself is a very templated system. If you've used Canva for a long time and you're on social media a lot, both of which I do, you can see Canva templates about 10 miles away. Right. So it's not difficult to spot similarities. So if you put in...
all your artwork looks the same?
No, that's not really rude. That's so rude. Yeah, you're so rude.
I didn't actually.
At least I post on social media. Yeah. Because like if you put in, I don't know, template for yes, no question, you get a lot. But most people, a bit like with Google, when you Google something, they'll only go for the first couple of scrolls. After that, they ain't bothered. So you'll find people use the same templates over and over again. So one trick to using it a lot is change what you're looking at. Don't just drag and drop. But it's just a really interesting, accessible tool. I love where it came from. Again, I love that it came from someone's own experience. You know, she listened to her. She wasn't the customer because she can use these tools, but she listened to her customers who were saying, "Oh my God, even though you've just spent 3 hours showing me, I don't know what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And she developed something on the back of that. So again, a very, very customer-centric approach. And I know she gets backlash for the pricing.
And initially, without ever intending to do so, as she was offering the training, but that's just great. What an output.
Yeah.
She went into that.
Got to have your ears open all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So you can spot those opportunities.
Yeah, you've got to listen to feedback and you've got to take those opportunities. And if they can sort out this whole deepfake porn and racism thing, they'll be laughing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Canva.
That's fascinating.
Thank you.
It is.
I might make you some Canva pictures now.
Thanks.
I'll make you some deepfake porn. Thanks so much for listening and being a part of today's episode.
If you like what you've heard, or if you feel there's something missing, or you want to ask any questions, please get in contact.
And if you love listening to us as much as we love talking to you, subscribe, download, leave us a review. All the love helps.
Thank you.